Hilarious. I love it.
Yeah,
Consistency.
3 minutes late, and in a tiny hotel room, I guess.
Three minutes late on a 6:15, 6:18, 6:03, wherever you're at. We'll let it go here. Green check marks. You got those up. And here we go. What's up, Broncos country? It's Wednesday night, 6 p.m. Mountain, just a couple minutes after. Don't beat us up too much, which means it's time for Wednesday night's MHI here at Mile High Huddle. I am Luke Patterson, and join with me as always, my co-host, my good friend, Broncos country extraordinaire, Thomas Hall.
How you doing, man? I'm
Um,
sorry. Like I've been traveling a lot, and here I am traveling again. And so now I'm coming from a hotel room, and whatever. We just got to do what we got to do. We got to let the show must go on, kind of thing, right?
the show must go on, and I get it. I travel in the off season a lot too. It's the summer, and you're going to be traveling out here to the Mile High City. We've got some big news on what MHI and Broncos country can expect at the 2023 training camp a little bit later in the show. We're going to wrap about a whole bunch of things, including Mark Schlereth's latest comments on Russell Wilson. Is Russell Wilson getting a little sideways with Sean Payton? We'll debate that later on in the show. Dylan Von Arks, one of our very own. What's up, DVA? Coming in here hot, reminding everybody, make sure you hit that like button on the way in. Please share on all platforms and subscribe if you have not done so already. You know me, Thomas. I am a creature of habit, and I've got to give shout outs to one of the first guys in here, our guy, Mike S., saying, what's up, Luke, Thomas, Scott, Dylan, and Broncos country, and Troy. Troy Buhar was in here with this generous $9.99 super chat, the very first super chat superstar before the show even started. So, Troy, I appreciate you. Thomas salutes you. Thank you so much for the support. Troy saying, hey, guys, remember how Stink wanted a coaching job on the offensive line and didn't get it? He seems pissed, and like every other talking head right now, it makes me sad. And Thomas, before we get into that, I want to just educate Broncos country in case y'all haven't seen some of Stink's comments. You can read all about it over at milehighhuddle.com. And Mark Schlereth, Broncos' very own, host of Schlereth and Evans on 104.3 The Fan, also a Fox Sports analyst, came out in a recent Mile High Football podcast segment and was a little bit critical of Russell Wilson's latest workout video, especially after Sean Payton said, I want to see these guys work in silence. Troy weighing in here saying, is Stink bitter because he didn't get that O-line job?
Yeah, I don't know, man. He actually rips on tons of people. He's always
it's
always
great.
On Twitter, like ripping on
somebody. He rips on me. He's made fun of me. I don't know if you heard it. I was on, so I got a very good opportunity, right? Got called up to the big leagues last week on 104.3 The Fan, and Cecil put me on blast right away. He's like, you guys realize Mark Schlereth makes fun of Luke Patterson, right? At training camp. To my face. I mean, you've probably been there when he's done it, and it's a term of endearment, really. That's what us guys do. I think it's hard for some guys to understand that, but that's what we do. We razz each other. It's a term of endearment, and you're exactly right, Thomas. I mean, Stink doesn't pull any punches, and on one hand, I could see where Mark Schlereth's coming here, and he's saying, look, quote, as you remember, Sean Payton came into Denver to be the head coach, and in his very first press conference, he said, quote, I want more anonymous donors, and it was all quiet on the Western Front. You didn't see videos being posted. You didn't see any of that stuff. And then the second you get away from Sean Payton, you go on summer vacation. And 2 days after summer vacation, you get a Russell Wilson workout video on one of them damn slide boards. Forget let's ride, let's slide. So certainly understand a little bit where Mark Schlereth is coming from there. I mean, you don't want to piss Sean Payton off. That being said, this is the offseason, guys, and I will say this about Russell Wilson in the workout video. I already made fun of RG3 on this show last week and on 104.3 The Fan, saying RG3 can't hold Russell Wilson's shoulder pads. He did the whole Broncos country let's slide. Mark Schlereth, he's got 3 rings, so I'm pretty sure he could say whatever he wants, and it's justified. Do I like it? No, I don't like the Russell Wilson videos. There's not a lot of Russell Wilson videos I do like. However, Russell Wilson is the face of this franchise. The entire city is talking about the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche. And over here, the Broncos are becoming the stepchild, right? Not anymore. Training camp is just about sold out, folks. People want to know what Russell Wilson have been doing. They see that he's lean. They see that he's mean. I don't really have a problem with the video, but I see where Troy and Mark Schlereth definitely take some exceptions to it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is one of the, I see both sides. Like, you're right. It's Russell Wilson. He lives in a different world than anybody else, right? I mean, he's a superstar. I'm sorry. Like, these celebrities and
Yeah.
superstars, they don't live in reality, right? They don't live in our reality. They live in, La La Land somewhere. I don't know. But so I can see that, both sides. I can totally see both sides. It would be nice that, you follow the new coaches rule and, not a bunch of stuff. But the nice thing about it was, in my opinion, was you got to see him looking in shape, man. He looks trim, fit, and ready to go. So on the other hand, it's like he's doing everything that the coach is telling him to do. Get in shape, be ready to play, do what you need to do to bring this team back to the promised land kind of thing. So I get it. I get both sides, but Stink has fun with people and he says things. And my favorite is when people don't know who he is and he drops the 3 Super Bowl rings in a picture on Twitter to,
and he
show who it is.
And he uses that middle. Stink likes to use that middle ring a lot on those videos, and I salute him for it. He is Thomas Hall. I'm Luke Patterson. It's MHI tonight here on 6 p.m. Mountain Mile High Huddle time, Broncos country time. We're talking Mark Schlereth comments about Russell Wilson. Don't know what we're talking about? Tune into this show. You can also head on over to milehighhuddle.com where Chad Jensen is running a piece on it right now. And I said it in my tweet before the show even started. When Mark Schlereth speaks, Broncos country and the NFL tends to listen. The guy knows a little something about football. He knows a little something about Sean Payton. The last thing I want to say about Troy's comments, I don't think Mark Schlereth is salty at all about not getting an offensive line job. In fact, I would surmise to say the reason Mark Schlereth didn't get the offensive line job is because he didn't want it. Mark Schlereth has been connected with Sean Payton. I've connected those dots on this show about as clear as I ever have for the last 3 months. I mean, he's been paid as an outside consultant. He's been on the record talking about it. Sean Payton's been on the record talking about it. I wouldn't be surprised if Mark Schlereth had a hand in some of the offensive line coaches that were hired if Sean Payton ran those guys by him. So I don't think Stink's jealous of anybody, but I definitely see Troy's point. David coming in here. David, what's up, man? Thank you for joining MHI. Another one of those early super chats early in the show we have got to get to, saying good evening, Broncos country. Luke, Tom, Dylan, and Deacon Scott. Hashtag MHH for life. Buckham, Denver Broncos for life. And David, let me know, man, in Broncos country, let us know if you are heading out to training camp, because I don't know if you've heard, Tom, this year's a little different down there at Centura Health Training Center.
It's a bummer. I mean,
what's happening? Tell us, enlighten us.
So training camp's open to the public, but it's a limited number of people that can get in. So you can't
3,000 per day.
3,000 per day. And the last year, the what is it, welcome back or what, I can't remember what
welcome
it was called.
Back weekend.
Yeah, it was like over 7,000 people there.
Back together
so you
weekend.
can see how popular the camp is, and that's 4,000 people that aren't going to be able to get in that day, right? So it's limited to 3,000. It's a bummer. I'm not going to be able to make everyone because you can't get a ticket to everyone. It's a bummer. So but we're going to be there anyway. You're going to be there every day. You're going to be there every day. I'm going to be there.
You know it.
And we are going to bring you training camp highlights and what we think about all these players, right? I mean, we're going to bring it.
Yeah, man, it's something new I've never seen before. And before we get into those comments, Vinny Pastilla Digital coming in with a very generous $5 super. Thank you so much for joining the show tonight, Vinny. Weigh in. Let us know what you think of Mark Schlereth's comments about Russell Wilson, maybe the new ticketing system, even though it's free over there at UC Health, or can't say UC Health. Better say Centura Health Training Center. It's odd, man. I'm a Colorado native, folks. I've always known Broncos training camp to be one of those things where you could wake up as a casual fan, a diehard fan, try to figure out your day and say, let's swing by and catch the morning practice of Broncos camp. That's not really the case anymore. You had to go to Ticketmaster today at 10 a.m. Mountain is when tickets opened. I guess you could get 4 per person, allegedly, or whatever. It looked like before the show started, 4 or 5 out of those 12 days were completely sold out already. So head on over to denverbroncos.com/NFL/training camp/information. And that's where you could try to lock down some tickets. We will be out there. MHI will announce those dates here a little bit later in the show. Yours truly will be out there sweating and getting burned every single day. Someone
Sunscreen.
who's never, yeah, someone who's never burning us. And that's another thing, by the way, that I guess the Walton Penner ownership group, in all their wisdom, they're going to hydrate you, Broncos country. They're going to give you a 12-ounce Dasani bottle of water. Yay! So we're going to celebrate some of those freebies. I kid, of course. It's really cool, man. Thomas, you've been out there with me. We're going to rock it again this year. It's a cool event to bring the kids to. There's always Broncos cheerleaders. Miles is running around, a ton of alumni. It's a lot of fun. Speaking of fun, Jesse Fraley coming in with a $5 super with look at that, a furry member of Broncos country, rocking some orange and blue, and that's awesome, man. Tom, are you a dog person? I'm a huge dog person. We've got a couple dogs in the house right now. I will always be a dog person. What do you think?
I love dogs. I've had dogs most of my whole life. I don't have any dogs right now. I love dogs. I'm not as fond of dog owners most of the time, but dogs I love.
Ooh, dog owners. Yeah,
I swear,
you
like
know,
95% of the people don't know how to train their dogs, and they're unruly. They're running around like crazy. But I love the dogs. It's just the dog owners sometimes rub me the wrong way.
You know, and it's the same with kids, right? It's not the kid's fault. It's usually the parents for the kid acting like a turd. And of course, we're never acting like turds here on MHI, where you can catch Thomas and I every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Mountain. You can also catch Thomas on Friday mornings, Legends of Mile High, and Saturday as well, Orange and Blue View. However, this Saturday, I think we've got a couple co-hosts fighting for your spot. You're going to be taking a little time off, celebrate your birthday.
That's right.
And, I don't know who approved that or anything, but no, it'll be cool. Stay tuned. Ron White's going to be co-hosting with a mystery co-host because I saw two guys fighting for that spot. So I don't want to overshare and, definitely get anybody in trouble or anything like that. But Jesse, thank you so much for all of the support. You guys are rocking it. Lawrence Rivera, I got to give my guy some love here. He's saying, "What's up, guys? Is Facebook not on, or is it just me?" No, we're showing Facebook's on. Green check marks, brother. So maybe something's going on because I do see a Facebook user coming in saying no stars available again. So I don't know if we're having a couple issues here on the Facebook side. If we are, I apologize. Bear with us. You can check out this podcast wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be on Apple, Spotify. You can check this out on YouTube. You can check it out on Twitch. We're streaming right now all over the place. So Facebook is not the only place that you can get this video. Thomas, I'm really, really surprised, man. I was talking to Chad about it. I was talking to you about it a lot today. I've never seen Broncos camp like this, and I hate it. It's limited to 3,000 fans per day because Arapahoe County says it is. I don't know why that is. I used to work in the fire service. I can tell you it has nothing to do with the fire marshal right now because we're all outside. There are emergency exits everywhere around that place. So I don't know if it's anything to do with that. I will pose a question to you because I do like a good conspiracy theory every now and again.
Okay.
Do you think Sean Payton had anything to do with the 3,000 per day limit? I mean, maybe nudge over there at Arapahoe County or something like that. And I'm not suggesting he doesn't like fans. I'm not suggesting he doesn't want people there. I'm suggesting that just like Mike Shanahan, Sean Payton likes to keep his circle close and keep those secrets together.
I don't know. I don't think he cares. He's out there trying to run a multi-billion-dollar football team, and I don't know if he cares if it's 3,000 or 6,000 or 4,000. I don't know if he cares. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter. One person can put something on social media that 7,000 people can put on social media, so it doesn't really make any difference. So I would say no. I'm not a big conspiracy theory guy, so I'm more of a Occam razor kind of guy where it's the simplest answers to probably the truth. And Arapahoe County probably decided who knows, they got some bug up there, and decided to limit it. I don't know. It's a bummer though, because as you know, we're trying to get tickets and the weekends fill up fast. I actually didn't get a ticket for one of the weekends that I wanted to be there. So it's a bit of a bummer, but I am going to be there regardless.
Yeah, we're going to make the most of it. MHI will be out there. We will announce those dates a little bit later here in the show. Yours truly will be out there every single day, grinding in the heat. I love it, man. It's such a busy part of the year, and you know it. I mean, you commute to for this. This is work. You and I are out there and we're working, and a lot of people don't realize their why. I completely understand, and I've been at the point where you're a fan and you just want to go enjoy your summer and the day with your kids and your wife or your significant other, your mom, your dad, your family, and that is so much fun. And I encourage everybody to do it. The one thing I cannot stand is these media members that just stand around and tell Dick Cheney jokes all day and then get it wrong on Twitter. A lot of Broncos country, they make the pilgrimage out here, if you will, every summer, specifically for training camp. And I just worry that a lot of these folks have been limited by this ticketing of 3,000 folks per day. Yeah, man. And it just, I get it. It's a sign of the times, maybe. The facility's state of the art. It's not like it can't hold people. You said it yourself. I mean, one day last year was 7,000 fans, and then we're cutting that, in half, less than half at 3,000. That's a little bit of a hit to Broncos country. And I could see why maybe they would be looking at the organization a little sideways.
Well, maybe, they calculated the number of Dasani water bottles they would need, and they're like, hey, let's cut it in half, because
they're not cheap. I don't think they're cheap. Spent the most, say what you will about Walmart and the Denver Broncos, spent the most amount of money in free agency. I don't think they care about the water bottle, but no, you're right. I mean, look, it's an Arapahoe County thing. It's not a Denver Broncos thing. And I try to equate this not to 2020, but to the circumstances of 2020 in which the San Francisco 49ers could not play in San Francisco. That was not Kyle Shanahan's choice. It wasn't John Lynch's choice. It wasn't the 49ers ownership choice. It was the city and county of San Francisco, California, whatever the hell it is out there. And I mean, look, NFL is king to a certain point up until they're limiting in county rules and having to play that game. So it's tough, man.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but I'm still going to be out there for a few days, even though I missed one of the days that I really wanted. But you're right, it's work. We go out there. I've got my see me with my spotting scope and my notebook, and I'm there, trying to write down everything I can. And it's a bummer that you can't see it all, but again, we'll glean what we can off of that, and we're going to bring it to Broncos fans, and then you guys can make what you want of it. You can form your own opinion, but we'll tell you, like last year, we saw what we saw, and I was a big Jonathan Kongbo guy last year. I was like, that guy's really, he is playing tough, and he ended up playing some games. So bring a few things to light. So it'll be fun. It'll be hot, and we'll see what we can see. And then we're going to bring it to you live on this show.
And speaking of giving you what you need, I'm going to give everybody what they need, and that's some Gary Leeds Palmer love, a $9.99 super. Thank you so much, Gary, an OG of the MHH game and a dear friend here at MHI. Gary saying, I watched that video, and he restrained himself from saying more, he being Mark Schlereth on Russell Wilson. I don't care for it, but that is a celebrity family. Yeah, man, I get it. And Gary commenting on Mark Schlereth's podcast and or Russell Wilson's workout video. Look, man, it could have been way worse, right? At least you didn't have Russell out there starting some new catchphrase. He was working out, and I got it. I get it. It was goofy, right? He had the slide board from the 80s, and he's gliding out there to some Nipsey Hussle, and it's kind of weird, but it could have been so much worse. And I think Gary's very level-headed here when he said, look, man, it could have been worse. He restrained himself from going a little too ham. Doesn't care for it, but he does get it. That's part of being a celebrity. And again, guys, it's a big deal to be the Broncos Denver quarterback, and Russell Wilson needs to earn that this year 100%. But at the same time, you've got to get this fan base going. The Vegas odds came out, Tom, 25-1 Russell Wilson to win NFL comeback player of the year right now. Maybe Russell Wilson will have the last laugh.
Man, I would put money on it right now. I won't do it only because if Damar Hamlin plays one single snap next year, he will win it. But if that wasn't the case, I'd totally put it on Russell Wilson. I believe he's going to be bouncing back. He's putting in the work. That's the whole thing about the video, right? It was cheesy. Russell Wilson's kind of cheesy. He lives a celebrity lifestyle. We don't understand it. He was putting in the work. He looks better. He looks ready to go. He's, I don't think Sean Payton cares that he, maybe did the video or not. He's out there doing it. And I think he's going to have a good shot at comeback player of the year. I think it's a waste of money because Damar Hamlin's back, That's my only thing. But otherwise, I'd put money on it right now. I'm in a casino, right? I'm right now in a casino. I'm going to celebrate my birthday. It starts
Dude,
right after this show. I'm going to go play some craps, and I'd go to the sports book and put it on there right now.
throw some down. That 25-1 on Russ, baby. Like, how do you not want that? Keith, I see you, man. I appreciate the support, dude. Keith's going to be able to make it out there. Keith Brugman. Don't know what's going on with Facebook right now. Sorry, guys. You're going to have to ride with us. And however, if you do feel so inclined, you can switch over to YouTube and generate stars into super chats if you do feel inclined to do so. Again, we apologize, a little bit of technical difficulties. I saw an error message kind of before we even logged on today. So we'll get that fixed. Apologies. Moving forward. Yeah, man, I'm seeing in the chat here, our guy Lawrence got some tickets. He's going to be out there. He's a Colorado native as well, saying, look, man, this is kind of lame. Trying to plan my summer here, got some other stuff going on, and I was able to get this date, was able to get that date. It's going to be interesting, man, because a lot of people, I think, are forgetting that the Broncos also are trying to get joint practices with the Los Angeles Rams. It was a piece I wrote up a million years ago, it feels like, at milehighhuddle.com. And they're going to see the Rams in a preseason game. That's usually when you see these joint practices. Those are the days I love to be credentialed because you can see everything from the berm where fans are going to be. And anybody saying you could see things better on the media side is just lying, and they're trying to pump out their ego. I'm just going to say it like it is because I'm not afraid of any of these guys on Twitter. I'm not afraid of them in person. I never will be. And the berm is the best place in the house because you can see everything. You're not getting all the BS, all the, like I said earlier, Dick Cheney jokes and the ridiculous comments that don't need to be out there. And you get to be with the people, man. You get to celebrate Broncos country together. In this world, Tom, that's so damn divided, we have one thing out there going for us this summer, and that's Broncos football being relevant again. I can't wait to get to it.
Yeah, I met a ton of people out there. I was wearing my Legends of Mile High shirt one day, and people were like, "Hey, what's that?" And I talked with them and talked about all the legends that I could talk about. It was great. Met several great people out there. Got to go out one time, with the USAA. Met some cool people there. It's amazing. It really
interview
is.
Justin Simmons. I mean, make sure you flex that here at Mile High Huddle. I mean, that's what we do. That's why we're called the Mile High Insiders, man. We're able to get a few inside opportunities not everybody else is able to get. I'm certainly very proud of that. I'm certainly very proud of your work as well. And that's the best part, man. We get to chum it up with guys like Lawrence. Lawrence, I can't wait to see you out there, man. And hopefully we can see all you guys not only at training camp, but at the MHH meet and greet week 7, baby, against the Green Bay Packers. MHH, the pods are going to be out there. Some of your favorite hosts from every single show. We'll be debating, we'll be fighting, we'll be talking crap, we'll be joking, we'll be making fun of each other. All of the above, man. This is Broncos country, and we can't wait to see you guys. Lawrence, thanks so much for the support, man. I appreciate it. And we've got another member of Broncos country weighing in here saying, look, man, I make the drive from Montana. So I'm trying to make sure I had multiple tickets in a row just to make it feasible because, Tom, as you know, if eggs aren't cheap, how the hell can gas be cheap?
Yeah, I know. Well, I just drove across Arizona to Nevada to go to, start my birthday. It's not cheap. So, yeah, and that's the thing. It's a bummer because not only is it hard to get the tickets, they're not like all lined up too, right? There's not like several days in a row that make it easy sometimes. So I feel you, man. It's tough. When I was looking at the schedules, like what days can I make it? What days can I make it? And then, what days can I get? And that's going to change a lot of stuff. So yeah, hope to see you guys out there, but we feel for you. It's not an easy thing. And it's a bummer because before you showed up, you got in and it was fun. And it is a bit of a bummer, but I will say this, Luke, I think people probably got tickets and then they realize they can't, they're like, oh, I can't actually go that day. So put it out there on Twitter, say, hey, I'm looking for a ticket to this day on training camp. Somebody will probably throw you one your way. So I think it'll smooth out a little bit as we go.
I love that. That's a great idea, man. And you know what? To further that note, because I know how awful humanity can be, don't sell these tickets, all right? Yeah. Don't do it. I'm going to tell you right now, the Broncos are an extremely well-run organization. I know. They've got new owners, right? What the hell do I know? Look, the Broncos know business. I'm sure that these tickets have something attached to them in some logarithm or algorithm or what the hell ever else it's called in the technology world that will probably try to prevent folks from selling them, because you do not need to be doing that. I don't care if a Rams fan wants a ticket. You don't need to be selling it to them for that joint practice. Bronco country, you're better than that. I don't believe it. Gary Palmer coming in here. Speaking of things I don't believe, all the generous support and love that GLP gives us. Hey, Luke, Thomas, Scott, and Dylan. No slight meant. Go Broncos, buck 'em. No slight taken, Gary. I mean, fire your shot. We're talking about Stink here, man. Stink takes shots all day, every day. He'll take shots at himself. Again, self-deprecating humor is one of the best things that we can do. I try to do it. You try to do it, man. I was tongue-tied, just as I am now, on 104.3 The Fan last week with Cecil Lammy. So, look, man, no shots fired, no shots taken. It's all good, baby. This is football, Gary. We got you.
Yeah, I didn't even notice the slight, if there was one, first of all. But second of all, that's how we get better. We don't agree. I mean, if you're taking cheap shots and stuff, that's different. But, we have a different opinion. I'll learn from you. You learn from me. It's all good. Say your opinion. We'll talk about it. And, who knows? Maybe we'll change our opinion.
Will says you need to go fishing, Tom. You look stressed out, and I would agree. I would agree. He is stressed out. He's been driving across the country for, it seems like, every day of the summer, and just now starting to settle down. And I want everybody to please wish Tom a happy birthday next week. We're gonna do an early happy birthday here at MHI. I've said it before. You and my dad celebrate the same birthday, so happy birthday to my dad, July 2nd also. And guys, be safe next week. 4th of July, baby. That's on a Tuesday. Look, we've all had someone affected by an accident, a severe accident. Don't let that accident happen to you on 4th of July. Be safe. Be sure that you can make it out there to meet Thomas and I for training camp, for the meet and greet. We want to see you guys, and we want to make sure everybody celebrates safely.
Driving's a serious business when you're sober. Don't do it drunk. I mean, it just the way it is. I put 4,000 miles on my car the last month. That's, I've been driving a lot. I don't want to go fishing. I'm not a big fisherman, but I am by the river, so it's nice. But yeah, I'm not a big fisherman. But you're right. I will start after the show. The birthday starts. I'm not going to do Legends on Friday because I'm going to be, having some fun. And like I said, I won't be here Saturday because of my birthday.
How dare you? How dare you? How many days off does a guy need for his birthday? I mean, I got like one. Thomas taking like 3. I mean, come on, Tom.
Man. This is 5-0 right here. This is 5-0.
Oh, that's a big one, baby. You're right. Yeah. That is all right, fine. I guess Gary and I and the people here at MHH will let that slide.
Yeah.
Lawrence, I'm watching you. Lawrence is trying to sell his tickets for $1,000. And Lawrence, here's what's up. And Lawrence, of course, tongue in cheek, man, a huge diehard member of Broncos country. It's cool to see Broncos country getting along out there because you see so many people from so many different walks of life. You see fans that are just being baptized in. And what I mean by that is anything from newborns there in their new Broncos gear with sunshades and everything else on to a new NFL fan. I think that's a demographic that people don't realize is entering every single year into the league. People hop on the NFL bandwagon and they should be welcomed. They shouldn't be criticized. They shouldn't be ostracized. They should be treated like pariahs. Come on out, ask some questions. That's all Thomas and I do is ask questions to some of those folks that you can run into out there on the berm. I mean, we've dropped some names before. We've gotten educated. For anyone to say that they're an expert and they've got all the answers, they're full of it, folks. We are not about putting people down here at MHH, specifically this show at MHI. So if you have a question, pop it in the live thread. If you want to come out and say hello, you want to take a picture, you want to ask us a question, I may not always have the answer, but we're going to have a fun time rapping.
Yeah, I love that graph where they, it shows the people that what they think they know when they think they know something and they think they know it all, and then they realize they learn more and they realize they don't know anything, right? It's like,
hell yeah.
Like we know a lot, but we know we don't know everything, and we're happy to answer any questions and ask questions. But yeah, I mean, as far as new fans go, man, everybody was a new fan at one point in their life, right? You don't get after people for being a new fan. That's when they start. And it doesn't matter what age they are. They could be 90 and they could be a new fan. Who cares? Like,
100%.
Let them come out.
does it matter why they're a fan? I don't
That's right.
care if you're from Colorado. I don't care if your favorite color is orange. Hey, maybe you met Tim Patrick one day and he was the nicest guy ever, and you thought, wow, how could such a supreme athlete and megastar on this team be such a humble guy? I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, maybe you're the electrician that did Russell Wilson's house. I don't know. I mean, there are a million different reasons to be a Broncos fan, and I'm here for all of them. And it does piss me off when you've got a couple of wise asses out there. Well, you're not even from Colorado. You're not from Denver. You haven't been with this team when we were losing. Yes, everyone's been with this team, but when they were losing, because they've been losing for better on 10 years. So if
That's
you're,
right.
10 and under, you've been riding with Broncos
That's
country.
right. That's right. If you're still a fan after you became a fan in 2015, you've suffered, man. I suffered
Yeah.
for a long time. I watched those Super Bowls in the 80s and suffered, man. So that's why 1997, that Super Bowl was so glorious to me, right? Because I'd seen three debacles and it was like, oh man, it was hard to watch. I'll tell you, it was really hard for me to watch that game. And it wasn't
Yeah.
until that final John Mobley knocking down that fourth down pass that I was finally like, yes, they did it.
Oh,
Yeah.
John Mobley, man. One of my favorite, number 51, right?
No, number yeah, 51.
51,
Sorry,
baby. Come on now.
I've
Who's
got a break.
maybe
Why am I
maybe
saying
I'm co-hosting Legends of Mile High on Friday morning, since you'll be off and you're missing your history now, Thomas. No, man, John Mobley. And speaking of greats, right? How about a shout out to John Elway today? Happy
Yeah.
birthday to the GOAT, the Duke of Denver, number 7, baby. There are all kinds of highlights going on right now. It's super cool to see, man. I came in on the tail end of John's wonderful career, and some might argue that was the best in 97 and 98. I was just a little guy when the Broncos were doing their thing, winning back-to-back world championships. And
It
it's
was.
cool, man. It's cool to see John Elway be celebrated for the great player and front office guy that he was.
And I'll tell you, his career was the best after his statistically and winning wise. He won a lot of games. Don't get me wrong, but in 1993, Jim Fassel came on board with Wade Phillips, and I don't know if you know, Jim Fassel actually recruited him to Stanford. Jim Fassel learned a little bit about the West Coast offense when he was at Stanford, and that 1993 changed John Elway's career tremendously, statistically and winning wise, obviously, when Mike Shanahan came in. But that 1993 season was that was probably his best season of his career statistically. And then he was one of the only quarterbacks who had better seasons as he got older than he did when he was younger. So it was amazing.
Did you hear that, Tom Brady? A little louder for the TB12 folks and all the Aaron Rodgers, and now we're expecting all these quarterbacks to play until they're gray and getting better. No, man, you're exactly right. He was doing it before, Tom, and obviously Tom's record speaks for itself. No one's ever going to debate that unless you're an idiot on TV. But look, man, it's special. John Elway is special. I'm glad that he is enjoying life post football. And I want to enjoy our guy, Michael Rinquillo. I see you giving love on Facebook. Thank you so much, guys. And bear with us as this Facebook stuff continues to go on. Buck 'em, man. Buck 'em with the Facebook thing right now, because it's driving me crazy. And we are getting some happy early birthday, Thomas, shout outs from Mike and some of the folks in here. And Keith had a question, our guy Keith Brugman. What's up, big dog? Saying, Keith or Thomas, how does half a century feel?
I can't believe I'm here. I keep talking to my wife about it. It's like I'm 50 years old and I can't even believe it. Like a half a century has gone by, and it's hard to imagine. My body feels it. That's for sure.
Well, you look good, man. You take care of yourself. You're a valuable member of this team. You're a very personal, dear friend of mine. So we appreciate you, man, and we appreciate you celebrating your 50th with us. I was also looking at got me thinking. Broncos country, fire away in the live chat. Who is your favorite player to wear the number 50 for the Denver Broncos? I started thinking about that and started looking a few up, and I've got one that you're going to really like, Tom. How about Ben Hamilton?
Ben Hamilton, yeah, the guard.
I mean, we spend so much time on this show, on your other two shows, trying to get Tommy to the Hall. Well, Tommy taught Ben Hamilton a little something about that zone blocking scheme.
Oh, yeah. I love Ben Hamilton, man. It's, Yeah, Tom Nalen is he passed on that to a lot of those no name people. People you like you throw out Ben Hamilton, Chris Cooper, you throw out plenty of
Yep.
these guys, and nobody knows who their names are. But they were still, they were part of that team when they were still churning out 1,000-yard rushers like it was, no big deal, right? So it was Ben Hamilton's a good one. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, like
Not
who's my
many.
favorite 50. There wasn't a ton of 50s
Not
out there.
many. I'm looking, and I love Pro Football Reference. It's one of my favorite
Oh yeah,
websites. Anytime someone's like, "What stat website should I use?" I'm like, "This is it." Same for college too. I mean, these guys get it right. I know. PFF is the best thing ever, and if I don't say that, then everybody, around the world gets upset. But Pro Football Reference is throwing some names out there. I mean, here's some throwbacks that maybe aren't like as great as a Ben Hamilton, but definitely were there when the Broncos were struggling and had a little success. How about JD Walton, the old Broncos center
yeah,
from
right.
2010 when they were wearing that horrendous yellow and brown
Yes.
uniforms that they ended up getting donated from the Wyoming Cowboys just up
Yeah.
the road.
One
And
of the
then
one of the decent draft. I mean, I'll say I couldn't
Notre
say
Dame, right?
McDaniel's, but he drafted J.D. Walton was a pretty decent draft pick. Beatles was a good
Beatles.
draft pick.
Yeah.
No, he drafted some good players. He just was an idiot.
Yeah, Jonas Griffith, most
Yeah.
notably number 50 in the 2021 season for the Broncos. I guess Zaire Anderson rocked it in
Yeah.
2016. Not a lot with that number
No.
50.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, is anybody wearing number 50 right now for the Denver Broncos? I mean, it's
Jonas
not
Griffith
single.
probably still wearing it.
Is it? Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
those guys
Yeah.
like to change numbers now that they can wear
Yeah.
little, single digit numbers. I don't know why the hell you would, especially being a
I
defender.
I'll tell you, I had high hopes for Griffith. When he's got penciled in for the starter, and unfortunately got injured. But I liked him. I liked him at camp, and I thought he seemed fairly athletic, not like an ultra athletic guy, but I think he's going to be taking a couple steps back now because you've got Singleton's took his spot, and
Yep.
that you've got the new guy
Drew
Drew
Sanders.
coming in, and unfortunately Griffith is kind of like I don't know. It's going to take a couple steps back.
Afterthought.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
really is. But who knows? Maybe he jumps everybody and is a big surprise. So
If he can stay healthy, he's such an athletic
yeah,
freak. His size, his athleticism, and I know. It's about football players. It's not about the potential. It's not about the testing. It's not about all that stuff. It's about what can they do. I wanted to get to Dylan's comment here, talking a little bit in the chat, and Dylan, one of our own, man, one of our
yeah,
brothers in arms here at MHH. DVA coming in here saying the colors aren't going to change, but the style will. Yeah, man, this is a huge topic in Broncos
yeah.
country right now. Threads are very important. If you don't believe me, just ask the University of Oregon scouting department. Guys want to look good. They look, that old saying, right? Look good, feel good, play good. Broncos country's wondering a little bit, what's the future of the jersey situation, the helmet situation, guys. Don't be surprised when you're at training camp and you don't see the decals right now on the helmets. Those aren't there. Yeah, they're not there. They're going to be coming on a little bit more towards the preseason, but it'll look weird at first glance. So I definitely wanted to get to DVA's comment here because he's exactly right, man. The fan base wants to know, look, are we ready to win? I hope so. But sometimes you can change your luck a little bit with new threads. I like the theory of luck. I'm not superstitious, Tom. I'm kind of stitious.
You're a little.
So I think about that 97, team switching to the
Yeah.
Blues. I think about the Broncos Super Bowl record in their home and away jerseys. I mean, talk to me about the significance of the threads with the fan base.
Well, I mean, think about everybody loves the old D, the old uniforms, the orange with the D on the helmet. They didn't win a Super Bowl. They changed their jersey to the current ones that they have now, and then they won back-to-back Super Bowls. So if you want to be a little superstitious, you can be there. But I'll tell you, I don't want to go. I love the old D, man. That old logo it's beautiful.
It's the best thing
But I don't
ever.
want to go back to that. I don't want to just go back to it. I want something with a little bit of what we have, now plus the old D. Come up with something good, not cartoonish. Some of these logos out there are too cartoonish for me. Get somebody good that can come in and do a great logo, but it pays homage to the old and the new in a great way, and then go forward from there. That's That's how I feel, man.
I've heard the story, or not the story, the theory of some fans like you who have that say you need to throw a Steeler wrinkle into that. What do I mean by that? A Pittsburgh Steeler wrinkle into the Broncos helmet. Maybe you do a Bronco horse on one side and a D on the other. The Steelers, have their logo on one side and the rest
Yeah,
is black on
yeah.
the other. I don't know. I mean, then you see what the Cleveland Browns do, and I'm just laughing at them because I'm like, good God. I mean, Washington, Cleveland. I don't want Denver to be one of those teams that's like, we suck, but we're changing our jersey. Come buy our new jersey. I mean, it doesn't work, and it's
Winning
pitiful.
first. Win
Yeah,
first, then change your jersey. No one will
yeah.
care, right?
There we
But the thing of
go.
it is, man, I'll tell you, all these alternate uniforms and whatnot is a huge moneymaker. Pretty soon, the NFL, you'll start to see them kind of not quite as bad as college where they change it all the time, but you're going to see some.
Yeah.
It's too big of a moneymaker. You get one jersey and then they change it. I'll go buy another jersey.
You know what it's going to be? It's going to be the NBA model where you have teams on Christmas Day in specific threads for Christmas. No, they're not going to be all dressed up like the Grinch, looking like some of these basketball players' shoes that are absolutely ridiculous. I can't afford them, but they look ridiculous. That's not it. I think just like you're saying, the NFL is going to find a way to capitalize off of those things. I mean, my wife is still just now starting to talk to me after I brought home a Russell Wilson jersey from training camp last year. She's like, man, you couldn't give me that Pastor Tan jersey. And, I try to get my wife and daughter something there every single year as kind of a thank you for putting up with me, for being half in, half out at home during training camp and being grouchy and, everything that I am. And, yeah, man, I'm hoping Russ's jersey can start spiking again because it means that he's doing good things. Just like our guy, David. David is always doing good things. David, we appreciate you so much, man. Happy birthday, Thomas. Gary Leeds Palmer is outstanding.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate the birthday wishes. It's an interesting thing to me to be at this age in my life when I still feel like I'm young, man.
You are, man.
Super young.
You're just getting better, man. The best parts of your life are ahead of you. And no, man, in all seriousness, like everybody, I'm trying to change my thinking, mentally. I'm trying to change physically. I'm trying to evolve as a human being always. I don't always do the best job at it. But if we could put ourselves in an uncomfortable situation to prolong our health, our lives, to be around for our children, to be around for each other, then we're all going to be much better off, man. So I'm a huge birthday celebrator, holidays. I mean, all these little things, man, we have got to soak up because it's so short, this life. And that's one of the reasons we salute everybody and appreciate and thank everybody for joining this show. We get the times are tough. We get not everybody's in a financial place of security in which they can donate. That's okay. You're giving us the most valuable resource that you have on this planet in this life, and that's your time. So thank you for rocking with Thomas and I on MHI.
Absolutely, man. We're happy to have you here every time. And that's why I try and come on to these shows when I can if I'm traveling, right? Because I enjoy it. If I could do this like every day, just get paid, plenty of money to do it, that would be great. I would do it. It would be my bliss, right? Like just talking about football all day long and not ever have to work a day in my life.
No, yeah, that's it, man. That's the dream. And that's the dream you and I will be living out at training camp. Yours truly will be out there every single day. But guys, here it is. The Mile High Insiders, Thomas and I will be out there together from August 1st out until around August 5th or so. You can catch us every day out there at Centura Health Training Center. Got the plug right. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. And I encourage everybody that was there last year, don't think of it as last year's training camp. That means don't show up late. That means be there early, be in line, be ready to go because those tickets are selling out for the Denver Broncos training camp. Try to grab yours today. I think right now, before the show started, we were at 5 out of the 12 practices were completely sold out. See if you can get in on a Monday or a Tuesday. Those Saturdays, they're locked out. But see if you can get there. You never know who you're going to run into. Thomas and I will be there. We will be there to answer your questions, shoot some pictures, autographs, whatever you guys want to do. Let's just talk football and have a lot of fun. This is what we're doing, and that's part of that dream that you just described, Thomas. And I can't wait, man. It's right around the corner. First day of training camp. What is that? July 28th?
Yep. 28th. Yep. I'm excited. And the thing of it is too, like I'm on Legends of Mile High, I am giving you some training camp primers. So not this Friday, it won't be here. Next week,
Boo.
next week I am going to give you some things to look for at camp. And if you see these things happening, you can expect a better season than last year. And I don't want to give it away now, but join me on the 7th. I think it's Friday the 7th. I'm going to give you 3 or 4 things you want to really look for when you're out there at camp. You can go there for fun. Don't get me wrong. Go there for fun, have a great time. But if you really want to kind of dig in to football, what's happening at camp, there's things you got to look for. And if you see those things, then you can expect something better. That's my opinion.
Yeah, man. And, go out there and put yourself outside of your comfort zone. I hear all the time from supporters of ours, listeners, friends, family. Hey, man, I'm really shy. I've always wanted to do what you do, but I'm really, really shy. Or I would always want to go to training camp, but I get anxiety. That's okay. We're all human beings. We all have some similar feelings at times. It's all good. You don't think I was nervous to not crack the mic on the #1 radio station last week? Things happen, folks. This is football. Remember, we're not rocket scientists here. This is toilet talk. This is water cooler talk, man. This is like just chatting with your friends. This is football. There is no pressure. Bring a notepad out there with you guys. We'll talk about how we take notes. We'll try to share a little bit of our insights. And along the way, I've learned a lot of things from our supporters and our fans, and I refuse to stop learning. The day I stop learning is the day I will be done with this game, because it won't interest me anymore. Period. I like to consider myself a fairly competitive person, and this is one of, if not the most competitive game on the planet. And it's one of the reasons that I'm so excited to meet Broncos country out there again, to have you out there again. MHI will be out August 1st through the 5th. Thomas and I together on the berm, taking notes, pictures, meeting fans. Come on out and say hello, man. It's so much fun, and we always have a blast.
Yeah, and the thing of it is, too, is unlike other sports, football season is short. So every chance you can get to see some of that football is a blessing, really, because you don't have 160 games like you do in the Major League Baseball, right? You get 17 games now, and you got a short window of training camp and a short window of preseason. So the more you can get in, the better. And from my perspective, right? It's so short. It's one game a week. You got to get as much as you can, because here we are on the off season going, gosh, I sure would like to see some football right now.
Look, 100%, and you never know who you're going to meet. I mean, like, I'm sure there's those stories out there of, how'd you meet your wife? Oh, I met her at a Broncos game. I met her at training camp. I met her at the team store. I mean, like, I'm not saying go out there looking for love at Centura Health Training Center. I mean, hopefully we do fall in love with Russell Wilson and what Sean Payton's doing with this team. But I'm just saying, you never know, man. You never know what life's going to throw your way. I mean, I never thought in a million years, and I'll pose this to you, that I would be doing this ever. At one point in time, I was a firefighter. At another point, I thought I wanted to be a physician's assistant, a biology major. I mean, I've switched paths so many times in my life, and without certain friends, certain opportunities, exposure, all these sorts of things, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So put yourself out of your comfort zone, come say hello, and you can be sure, I can guarantee you that we will greet you with all kinds of love, and we're going to be happy that you're there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I fell into this, I was a big football guy my whole life, but when I was a kid, I didn't know you could do stuff like this. I didn't know you could. I thought you either played football or you coached football or you did something else. Right. Well, I wasn't big enough and fast enough to play. And I coached for a while, and I was like, well, I'll go do something else. And then, got into this luck, you get into doing certain things by chance, and, like you said, you meet tons of people. I got to shake Stink's hand one time at the training camp. Orlando Franklin, talked to Rod Smith for a while. Who knows? They can give you some cool advice on how to take your next step.
Interviewed Justin Simmons, Carl Mecklenburg came on your show. I mean, these things happen. This isn't just like we're not Russell Wilson. We're not these celebrities that are untouchable or anything. We're you guys. We're Broncos country. That's how we represent ourselves here at Mile High Huddle. That's how we represent ourselves on this show. Kenny Abeda coming in with a $5 super. Thanks for joining us, Kenny, on your Wednesday night, bud. Saying good evening, fellas. What have I missed tonight? I hope all is well. MHH for life. This is awesome, Kenny. I appreciate you coming in, man. This is what you've missed in case you're living under a rock. Broncos training camp tickets open today. Yes, it's still free to the public, but they're doing something a little different this year, Kenny. They're limiting it to 3,000 fans per day out there. Thomas hit you with the number earlier in the show. Last year, one day on Back Together Saturday, there were up to 7,000 fans. Arapahoe County has made the decision to cut that to 3,000. Again, Arapahoe County, not the Walton Penner ownership group, not George Payton, not Sean Payton, not the Denver Broncos, Arapahoe County. So what that meant today at 10 a.m. Mountain is that Broncos country had to head over to Ticketmaster, look up those training camp dates, try to request those tickets. Again, 5 out of the 12 public practices are completely sold out, if you will, although they're free. Which means there's still some tickets available. I mean, I keep checking them and reloading the site here. Broncos country, get out there, get on Ticketmaster, see what days works best for you, and be sure to read that fine print at the bottom, clear bag policy, all that sorts of stuff. So, Kenny, that's what we're rapping about training camp. MHI will be out there August 1st through August 5th. We also talked just a little bit about Mark Schlereth's recent comments about Russell Wilson's workout video. In case you missed that, you could head back into this podcast a little bit earlier in the show, or head on over to milehighhuddle.com where Chad Jensen has a piece up about it right now.
Yeah, and I'll go back to that. I'm cool with Stink saying that, but at the same point in time, like when they start winning, no one's going to care, right? That's the thing. Better go out and win. Better go out and win. Who cares? And, no one's going to care about your workout video that you did one time early in training camp if you win. Now, if you go out and stink it up again, people are
no pun intended. No pun intended, coming from Mark Schlereth. No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right, Thomas. You are, man. And like Stink said that too. He said, quote, I know it probably doesn't mean anything, but it's one of those things that as a fan or as an analyst or whatever, for me, it drives me a little bit crazy. You had such a piss poor season last year. It was awful. And I'm expecting a huge bounce back this year. I looked at this and I understand that you're an influencer and I understand that you probably have obligations to companies that are paying you. But boy, I tell you what, it just did not. It's not that it totally irritated me, but it just did not sit well. Let me say that. And that's Mark Schlereth's recent comments on Russell Wilson's workout video. And look, man, it's the dead season. That's why, we're kind of playing some energy towards these quotes, not just because it's Mark Schlereth, 3-time Super Bowl champ, Broncos great, and Sean Payton extraordinaire. It's relevant, man. I mean, we've talked about it on the show. Real bad boys move in silence. And Russell Wilson, he definitely lost all that weight in silence. He wasn't posting workout videos then, and now he's out there sliding like he's in the 80s, man. If he could slide like that on the field, like he was sliding doing the Pilates in the 80s on that video, we'll be all right.
He better slide. You don't want any head first concussions like that Chiefs game. It would have won that game probably.
That was scary.
And slide, move. You lose this weight so you can get out there and you can move around in the pocket. You can make some things happen with your legs, open up some stuff like you've done in the past. But please slide. You don't want it. Winning is great, and if it's a playoff game, okay, maybe you go head first. But otherwise, slide feet first and play another down, man.
Russ earned so many kudos and courage and man points for that. I mean, like we saw Warrior Russ that day, and it was terrifying. It bothers me to even think about again. But that hit was so nasty. Yeah, we need Russ to be smarter. We need him to take care of himself, and it's something that he's doing. One last thing as we start to wrap the show up, and not that it's a tidbit, but I did want to touch on it and get your points. I know you've been traveling all day. Again, Thomas Hall celebrating the big 5-0 here in just a few days, man. Be sure to wish my guy a happy birthday and let him know how much you appreciate him and how much we love him here on this show. Troy Rank. Troy's always been great to me, man. I love Troy. Anytime it comes off like I'm making fun of Troy, I'm not. He just has the best analogies I've ever heard of in my life. So I've heard from multiple people that have asked him, and they've said, Troy, how do you come up with this stuff? And Troy's one of the most polished writers in the state of Colorado. And he won a journalism award a few years ago, deservingly so. And I love Troy Rank's work. And Troy said, I actually stay up thinking about some of these things. So I like my respect for Troy Rank couldn't be any more so. But Troy caught up with some of the guys today, some of the Broncos at a local high school that I'm familiar with, Bear Creek High School here in Lakewood, where Javonte Williams and Jerry Jeudy were putting on a football camp. And he spoke to KJ Hamler. KJ Hamler said he should be cleared to go for training camp after receiving pectoral surgery. Also added that Kendall Hinton had a minor knee scope, said that he will also be recovered for training camp. But this wide receiver room, the competition's going to be thick. And the news of the day, KJ Hamler is going to be ready for training camp.
Well, he better be, because we've said it before, he's the one that could be on the outside looking in right away, right? And not because he's not a good player, he just can't stay healthy. And you've got a couple other people that can replace him. So he better be ready to go, man. And I'm glad he is, because however that room shakes out, whoever Sean Payton believes is the best 5 or 6 that they keep on, they better be. I'm sure they're going to be good, because that is going to be one of the toughest spots to make it, because they have a ton of them playing in that spot, and some of them have experience with Sean Payton, and whoever comes out on top, it should be a pretty good room.
Could be a good room. And huge shout out. We're giving birthday shout out. John Elway's birthday is today. Cortland Sutton recently got married. So congratulations to Cortland Sutton on entering the beautiful world of matrimony. It's always blessed. It's always blissful, right? I mean, there's never any hard times being married. So Cortland's going to be experiencing some of that. But no, huge congratulations. I don't know if you got to see it. It's a cool moment when you get to see these guys, like a glimpse of their personal lives. Again, I always say never meet your heroes, although Cortland Sutton's a fantastic guy. He does great work. So many of these guys do. But I don't like to get in their personal lives. I don't like to pry. I don't even like to know a lot of things, because it can skew your objectivity, especially as an analyst, and especially as a member of Broncos country, right? I will admit a little bias when it comes to the Denver Broncos, but I don't have those orange and blue glasses on. Did you see Cortland Sutton's wedding pictures, in which some current teammates and former teammates made the trip down to Mexico?
I saw a few. Yeah, they people are definitely showing some respect for him, going out there and being in those photos. So I mean, good for Cortland, man. Getting married, gonna have a big year this year, hopefully, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he does on the field.
Imagine being Cortland Sutton, and now I'm starting to think back to some of his frustrations about, like, I just want to be where I'm appreciated regarding the trade talks. Man, his fiance was probably planning a freaking wedding during those trade talks. You know what I mean? And now Cortland's sitting there like, man, I got the most important day of my life. I'm marrying my bride here. On another hand, I don't know if we're going to be living in an entire new state. I don't know how that's going to affect our day. I mean, it's starting to piece together a little bit some of Cortland's frustrations, and again, the human element. But it was cool, man. It was weird in that photo. It looked like Deshaun Hamilton, former Broncos wide receiver, was in there. I think there were a couple other players. It looked like Isaac Yiadom. It couldn't have been. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't Isaac Yiadom. Maybe it was. I don't know. But like, you saw a few Broncos in there, along with current guys, right? Russ was there. Pat Surtain was there, among others. I'm missing a bunch of guys too. But it was really cool to see Cortland involve some of the teammates that are no longer here in Denver. It shows what they meant to him during his most crucial time being a young player breaking into the league.
Yeah, and it's wonderful. I'm always, if you are a Bronco once, you're always a Bronco, unless you've done something ridiculously stupid or something. But
okay, that's a great question. Who do you want to disown from being a Bronco? Because I have one name.
Daryl Gardner.
Okay, fair enough. I would say Melvin Gordon.
Oh yeah,
Melvin Gordon, my guy's still out there campaigning and bitching. It's what he does best.
Sure.
David coming in here. What he does best is giving us love, support, and is a very good, dear friend of the show. Thank you, David. David saying Gary Leeds Palmer and I will be at the meet and greet. That is awesome, David. I'm so excited, man. I can't wait to meet you guys, and Thomas too, man. We're going to be, MHI is going to be rocking there. We get around, Thomas, and I mean that in the best of ways. You're on the road. I'm on the road. We're going to be at training camp August 1st through the 5th. We're going to be at the MHH meet and greet week 7 when the Broncos take on the Green Bay Packers here in the Mile High City. And dude, I am so pumped to meet some of our friends, family, and supporters here on this very show.
Yeah, I met some last year. It was great. It was wonderful. But yeah, I think we're going to have even a bigger crowd from the Mile High Huddle team this year. I think a lot more people are going to make it than has made it in the past, which is going to make it even better, right? So, but it's meeting the people that watch the show and interact with us. That's cool to me, right?
They make the
That's cool.
show. Yeah, you guys
Yeah,
make the show go. And I'll say this about Chad. Chad is a businessman, and Chad does not put a failing product on air for no reason. You guys are the reason for this success, and we can't thank you guys enough. You guys make this machine work. You're constantly bringing fantastic content, fantastic questions, and we value your time. So let us return the favor and spend time with you at training camp, at the MHH meet and greet. We're gonna be there, and we're gonna be accessible, man. That's one of the things I know, Tom, you pride yourself on. I pride myself on too. It's staying humble and making sure that we can meet new friends and talk football and just be a guy, man. Just be a person, just be a human being out there. And it's cool to see how many members of football or Broncos country are women. I tweeted something today on Twitter right now. Caitlin Clark, one of the most, if not most famous collegiate basketball player right now, is out there talking about how important it is to have women in sports right now. We are at the pinnacle, if you will, of women in professional sports, in front office positions, in coaching. It's happening with the Denver Broncos. So come on out. There's you got nothing to lose. We're gonna have a great time at the meet and greet. We're gonna have a great time at training camp, and it's gonna be a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. I don't want to rush summer along, but I really can't.
It's coming, man. Time is flying by. I can't believe 4th of July next week. Again, yep. Thomas is going to be off this Saturday celebrating his birthday. We got to make sure we give him love. And that's going to be a wrap for the show, guys. We're hitting the 1 hour mark. It's been fun talking Broncos training camp access. We talked to some of our friends in the chat who we're going to meet out there. And it's going to be really, really cool. I hope that you stay safe over the 4th of July weekend and your birthday, man. I hope that everyone takes care and just be with each other. And I'll say this too, man, from a personal perspective. Let's have some pride for this country on 4th of July, huh? Independence Day. I get that there's some bad things in this country and there's some things wrong, but I am so damn proud to be an American. I am so damn proud to be from Colorado, to be a member of Broncos country, to be on these airwaves, and rep your pride responsibly.
Well said, man. Well said. Thank you, Luke. And wish your father a happy birthday for me.
I will, man. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And guys, hit us up anytime. He's at Thomas Hall NFL on Twitter. You can DM Thomas at any time. Yours truly at Luke Patterson LP. Again, there will be no Legends of Mile High this Friday. You guys sleep in, take it off this Friday only. Tune in next Friday, though, where we continue our training camp preview, and Thomas takes you through some of that. Saturday, Ron White and a mystery co-host will be rocking these very airwaves so Tom can enjoy his birthday. But Broncos country, you guys have been outstanding. Thank you for rocking with us with our technical difficulties on Facebook, some of my word salad. It's been a lot of fun, guys. And Broncos country, take care of each other. This is the way.
This is the way.